Hey everyone, it's Marcelo. I'm taking over Nathalie.tv.com, and I am in a beautiful, loving relationship with a beautiful woman that you guys subscribe to and watch her videos every single week. So this week, what we're gonna be talking about is a love and money series on how to help successful entrepreneurs have successful marriages, even though we're not there yet. So let's get it.
Okay, so I have a list of questions. So anyways.
Yeah, so essentially what you're gonna figure out today are some of the most common questions that we get from our friends and people online that wanna know more about what makes Nathalie so special and loving and encouraging to so many people's lives. And the story behind it is me. Let's get it.
Okay, great. Good job, sweetie. Okay, ow!
Sorry, that's your shirt.
Ow! All right, what's our story and how do we meet and when was the time we fell in love?
So our first question, really simple, straight to the point. Let's get it. Let's start with you, my sweetie.
Okay, we met back in March 13 of 2015 by a mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
There was
Let's go, Andrew.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew. There was no sparks that flew. Is that how you say it?
No.
Oh, how do you say it?
So what's our story? That's a weird question to ask. How did we meet? So we met through a mutual friend, a good friend of mine, Andrew, who I loved spending time with. Great guy. He's a great dude right there. And he was one of my good friends, and he happened to know someone that he figured I should meet. We were in the business of health and wellness, network marketing company. And he told me that, hey, you gotta meet Nathalie, she's great. And I was like, well, I would love to meet Nathalie, bring her over. She came over to my friend's house, we met, I showed her a compensation plan, she was so confused, didn't buy, and then next, I think 3 or 4 days later, we fell in love.
Okay, can you please find the balance?
Okay, let me do the intro again. Hey everyone, welcome to Nathalie's beautiful, awesome, and amazing channel where she helps successful entrepreneurs have successful marriages. Okay. What is it? Not successful entrepreneurs.
It's okay. It's
hardworking entrepreneurs. Right?
It's hardworking entrepreneurs improve their love life.
Got it. Hey everyone, look at the camera. Look at it. No, let's get it. Ready? Come on, listen up. Listen up. Listen up.
Okay, go please.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, it's Marcel, and of course the most beautiful person on the planet, Nathalie. She asked me as her husband.
Okay, let's keep going. Okay, and when's the time we fell in love? When did we fall in love?
There's no time. That's the wrong way to ask that question. There's no time.
Well, he's taking.
How did you know you're in love?
He's taking it literally.
Well, it's a specific question.
No, it's just like the season, like when we fell in love. At least for you, I know for me, I fell in love at different times.
So what she's asking is, when did I know I was in love? Is that really the question?
Sure.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't think I ever specifically knew. I think what was special about Nathalie is that she told me early that she loved me and that she was in love with me and that she wanted to spend the rest of her life with me. And she told me that way before I even started thinking about my future in that way. But because of that, she planted seeds in my mind of the type of woman that I really wanted to be with, like what was really important to me and what would make me happy long term, but like true happiness, not materialistically or, you know, a fake facade that you put in so other people think that you're in a great relationship where in fact, who knows what's actually going on. Like beyond all that, she planted seeds in my mind, like, hey, like what truly matters, and just basically by example show that she is that woman for me. And if there's one single thing that stands out the most in that specific area that gave me that realization was that she loves me unconditionally to the point where she'll support me, I mean, to unbelievable heights. I mean, I could never think anyone could support me the way that she does. And we have fun and so much love while we're doing it. And it's a great experience and I cherish every single day of it.
Yeah, it's like an adventure every single day, and we look forward to every single day when we see each other. And every time we do see each other, it's like we act like kids.
Yes.
Like we haven't seen each other for years.
Yes.
It's like that all the time. Like that's love. If that's not love, I don't know what love is. But yeah, you hit it home. You know, when he's saying that I support him and all this kind of stuff, he does the same for me.
Yeah.
Like absolutely. So it's great to have a support system?
Well, to dig a little bit deeper into it, like men and women, and I guess in more of a traditional perspective, I know this whole world has changed its perspectives on what relationships are. What I can tell you and what I value in a relationship are very specific roles that men and women play. And I know there's things that fulfill me in a relationship in terms of the kind of man I am to her as my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful partner. And that's allowing me to be more of a man. And she wants a man, like a real man. Not a boy, not a kid, not a immature, wannabe boy. Like she wants like a man that knows who he is, knows what he wants, and goes after it and gets results. So as a man, it puts it like a fire in my stomach to live up to that. And you need a woman. Like maybe some men don't. So a lot of men, choose to be in a serious relationship not until way later in their life, after they had the success, after they've, gotten all the materialistic things that they wanted. They go from girl to girl, but at some point they want kids, and that's when they chose to, settle down with someone. And that might be the right thing for certain men. I just happen to find someone that I'm so compatible with, in my mid-20s. And I'm fortunate to that, so I don't have to go through all those weird phases that men go to before they choose to be with someone. And I have a very special woman here that I cherish and I know has already brought so much value to my life, and I know my life will be 10 times better than it would be if I was on my own or with someone else. And she brings me happiness but pushes me. And what really brings me happiness in life is progress and accomplishments, and she's literally the cornerstone to any success I will have in the future and up to now.
Thank you.
That's good.
How long we've been dating? We've been dating for 5 years, and we met 7 years ago.
So we met 7 years ago, but we've been in a real relationship where we're committed to one another for 5 years. That's not to say that it's been consistently for 5 years necessarily. We've had our ups and downs, our growth spurts and setbacks and so forth. Like there's so many things that we went through together, but I can never say that I ever lost sight of who she is and the value that she holds and what she's done for me. So, you can't really put a specific amount of time that we've been together. All I know is I've loved being with her and building something together for at least 5 years. And she's spectacular.
Yes, a lot has happened in those 5 years.
Yes, it has.
A lot of growth.
For sure. Great adventures.
And I learned a lot from him. So what makes this relationship different from previous ones? Well, he's my only serious boyfriend I ever had, okay? And I had the longest relationship before Marcelo was, I don't think it really counts. It was like 6 months. I was 16, but nah, he was a friend, really.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
None of them count. So honestly, I mean, I can only compare, I guess, the guys that I was into before. They were kind of just like the bad guys, like the players, you name it. We all been there. And I feel like with Marcelo, he is an extremely valuable man to me. For me, as I was built, I need someone like him who is someone who is mentally stronger than I am, and is willing to fight even when it's extremely hard and it's easy to quit sometimes, because I've been the one that always just wanted to quit on the relationship, but he just reminded me what's more important than just like my feelings at that very moment. So he has a lot of valuable, I would say assets, right?
Yeah.
He has a lot of valuable assets in this relationship, and he is truly a man. Like the other guys that I was into or I dated for a couple of weeks or whatever didn't really last because we didn't really build a foundation of trust. It was more like, hey, like we're dating, so therefore we have to do what other people are doing. We have this timeline to do certain things, and it was just a lot of obligation. And with him, it's more of an adventure. And everything just kind of fell very naturally for us. And it hasn't been easy because for me, like I came into this relationship with a lot of baggage and insecurities. So he was really the only one who was patient enough to go through it. But I don't think it's called patience. I think it's just called love, really, when you love someone. And he taught me how to unconditionally love him, because he does that for me. And also what I love about him is that whenever I'm mean sometimes or things like that, and is it hormones? No, I don't have hormones, do I?
Yes.
Okay, and the hormones kick in, right? He's just patient, and he knows that whenever I'm being mean or a certain way that's not myself, he recognizes that, and he's more of a bigger person and more mature in that way and more intellectual in that way. And I want someone who's mentally strong because he teaches me to be mentally strong myself. So that's why he is also very like business minded. He's great for business because of the way he thinks, and he's just a man, like a real genuine true like a warrior in my life. And I never really had anyone fight for me. You know, I never really had a man in my life fight hard for me, and he never once left my sight. So, which is a beautiful thing. So thank you.
Yes. So yeah, so I think the biggest difference relationally is the fact that, like she said, we had a strong foundation together. And I think if any of you are seeking a partner or trying to find someone out there that is compatible with you, is that you have to have a foundation on your own first that you can offer somebody else to be part of. Like if Natalie didn't have a foundation, which she did, she had a lot that she brought to the table. And if I didn't have a foundation that I've built over the years either, then there's nothing there that I could really offer to her. And at that point of her life, she had certain desires and ambitions, and I had ambitions and desires of my own. And there was enough commonality there where we saw eye to eye in so many things. Our values were aligned, and I think that's a great place to start when you meet somebody. You know, the most important thing is, do you share the same values? Because values are non-negotiable. They are the things that are foundational to the relationships, because if you don't agree on the values, your perspective in life, the actions that you take, decisions that you make, all those things that you have to do throughout your life will be misaligned. And I can't imagine a relationship be loving and encouraging and adventurous if your values aren't aligned. So to answer the question more specifically, like what makes this relationship differently is, one, I had a better understanding of what my personal values were, despite how I was raised, despite how the world operates, despite the things I've read or the movies I've seen. I internalized specific values that were important to me. And when I saw Natalie for the woman that she is, but more importantly for the woman that she wanted to be based off of her values, it created this intriguing feeling that I couldn't really describe. I wouldn't say it was a crush. I couldn't say it was necessarily a like or instant love or I fell in love at first sight. Like I wouldn't describe it quite that way, but it was intriguing. Like I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like I've never met a woman who agrees with me in such profound ways and reciprocates that towards me again because she had those values. So if I had to put it in one sentence, our values were so aligned, and because of that, it just became so natural over the years.
Yes, I love it. You put it so well, man. Good job. Why are we so attracted to each other, even after just 6-7 years of knowing one another, and we can't keep our hands off of each other? Like we've been in each other's life for a long time, and there's always been passion.
Okay.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah. So passion, okay, which is really what she does, not fiery.
Thanks.
So the passion piece, where that comes from, is I think it comes down to me as a man. Like, well, first off, despite being a man, my love language, if you don't know the different love languages, look it up. But there's a handful of them. There's physical touch, there's acts of service, there's gifts, there's words of affirmation, and there is, I always miss this one.
Come on, why are we having a brain fart? Quality time, okay.
Quality time, dude.
All right, go.
I think one passion comes from one person that gives to another. Like I have to feel passionate before our relationship is passionate. She has to do the same. So I have to give her passion, and she has to receive it, and she has to give it back to me in order for me to continue to give. So that comes down to understanding yourself and your love languages. So if you're interested and you want more passion in your relationships, I would recommend that you read a book called The 5 Love Languages. And essentially there's 5 of them, obviously by the title. Arguably all of us have a dominant and a recessive way in which we love to receive love, essentially. Like the way that we receive love from other people. So mine happens to be physical touch and acts of service. Like physical touch is a great way in which you can express passion. And I love touching her, and I love kissing her, and I love being with her and physically feeling her skin against mine, and just kissing her lips and cuddling with her, and just always being physically in contact with her, because that's my love language. And I know for a fact that Nathalie is amazing at it because she receives my love and my affection towards her. And I think because of that, I don't think either one of us have really had that in our lives. And it's like such a special feeling that I enjoy, that it just grew over time. And I enjoy it so much, so it just continues to grow, and happens to be my love language. And but passion, I think, it's a choice. I think if you really care about the other person, you get to know them and you find out what's important to them. If you serve them by loving them the way that they receive love and really feel appreciated, then they will open up to you. And if they open up to you, then the passion will flow. So for Nathalie, her love language is words of affirmation. She loves life to be spoken to her, and encouragement and appreciation, and just acknowledgement for who she is, what she does, and what she values. And I mean, for some people, they think, that's such a small thing, like they're just words. But for her, it means a lot. So, and I mean, I could really touch her all I want, but until I actually tell her why I love touching her, and why I love her lips, and why I love her for who she is, and why she's so special, and why she's so incredible. Until then, she won't feel the passion for me, because even though I'm touching her and giving her love the way I like to receive it, she doesn't actually receive it the way that I would. So to answer the question, over time I realized what's important to her and how she receives love, and how I can get more love from her by giving her what she needs and wants, by expressing how I like to be loved. Over time, we just really got to know each other in that way, and I think we're just growing together at this point. We grow together more and more and more and more, and if we're growing together, it's just the passion continues to flow.
Yeah, no, you hit that home, because I wasn't thinking about the love languages and why we're very passionate individuals in our relationship and we can't keep our hands on each other. I also wanted to add on the fact that even though I'm not so much of a physical touch person, I really appreciate how he is, because that just shows affection, and affection in a relationship, I think it's so crucial. I don't think I could ever be with anyone who is, even though I'm not a physical touch person, if they can't like hold my hands when we're in public, or like hug me or whatever, it's like, oh, okay. So I don't know, for the ones that don't know us, we do so much PDA, it's not even, it's ridiculous. And I've never had that with anybody. In fact, whenever I was dating someone, they were like that, and I'm like, please get off me, like I don't feel comfortable. I was not having it. But with him, it's just like, I don't care. I think I'm the one that initiates it more than he does, but.
Sure, but I'm better at it.
Okay. Yes, so that's so true. It's just a matter of knowing what your love language is, and usually how you know is what you give off the most. So I immediately knew his was physical touch, because even when we were just friends, he just likes to, he loves hugs, clearly, from people, and even when we were sitting down, he just had to touch my leg or something, like with both legs together. So you just know a person's love language because of what they give the most to someone else. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, so someone's love language by the way they give love.
Right.
So for example, if your mom was always encouraging you, or she always cooked you breakfast and had your lunch ready for school, or she sacrificed everything to make sure that you were happy and had what you needed and give her whole life for you, like that's the way that she would receive love, for example. So for example, if it was Mother's Day and you wanted to make your mom feel so special, and she encourages you all the time and does a bunch of things for you, if you reciprocated that intention to her by cooking her breakfast, lunch, and dinner, having things ready, plan a special day for her, tell her how amazing she is, and just encourage her, then you would make her day. Like if you just reciprocate the love that she gives to you, more than likely that's how she likes to be loved.
Yeah, you make a great point, because I see like marriages or people that are in relationships, they don't feel love with the other person, and that's often because the other person doesn't know how to reciprocate their love back, right?
Yeah.
And
I think they don't recognize, like they don't know, like they don't pick up on the signals. They're just blindsided by the fact that the other person needs them in a very specific way that's special to them.
Yeah.
Like these marriages that people have are very shallow. They love each other, like the emotion's there, and they want to be with the other person, but over time, you need more than that. And you need the day-to-day rush of emotions from that person. And if you go so long without it, your relationship becomes so dull, and you seek it from somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone else, but from somewhere else. You know, you create a life separate from your partner. Yeah. You know, you escape to your job, or you escape to see your friends on the weekends, or you escape to alcohol or drugs, or you escape pornography or movies or whatever. Who knows? But you find that sense of satisfaction somewhere else, and it's because your partner doesn't know how to give you what you need. But you know, at that point, you got to take responsibility for it, and you're probably doing the same. You're not giving them what they need in order to give you what you need. So that's why it's called a partnership, right? It's when you're in business together in a partner, you pull your weight. But if you pull your weight and you do what you're supposed to be doing, and the things that you specialize in, the value that you bring to the business, then you both win. Like both partners win, because you're bringing so much value in unique ways that make the overall business flourish. Same thing with relationships. You got to bring your uniqueness to it, but you got to grow every single day. You got to fight for it. And if it's something that you truly love, it doesn't feel like you're fighting for it. It's your duty, it's your responsibility, it's the joy, it's an investment that you're making into yourself, because that person is such a huge piece in your overall picture of the life that you want for yourself.
Love it, sweetie. Good job. Have you done this before?
All the time.
Yeah, and if you truly are in a situation that you really don't know, because it's really hard to read your partner, just ask them. Yeah. Hey, like, how do you feel loved by me? Or how do you feel the most loved by someone? Just what are your needs? And just having that open communication with them.
The reality is a lot of people don't know how to communicate. So even if you were to ask your partner, they may not know how to express it. So I think what would help is if you educate yourself first. Like find out what these love languages are and think about it, and think about people that you've met. Start with your family members when you're young, you know, or think about your parents, or think about your best friends, or think about the spouses that you know of, like successful relationships. Or maybe just think about the movies. You know, some movies are pretty decent, like explaining the ups and downs of relationships, and kind of pick up on, okay, why was she so mad at that scene? Like, what did he do wrong? What was the misunderstanding? Why isn't she getting what she needs from her husband or boyfriend or whatever? Or the man dissatisfied with the relationship, or why he's seeking something from someone else. Like those things that you see in the movies, and you'll kind of pick up on it, because even though it's just a movie, there's aspects of reality that you resonate with, and that's why movies are so great, because you can separate yourself and see it from a different perspective while still be able to relate to it, and relate to it in a way where it's like, oh, I understand where that person's coming from. So educate yourself first, pick up on those signals, see what it is for you, and then experiment. Like that, your partner may not open up to you and tell you, hey, I love being touched, or I love it when you tell me I'm beautiful, or I love it when you take out the trash, or I love it when you plan a trip for us. Like they may not know because you've never done it. So they don't know what they need until they actually get to know themselves better and acknowledge what that is for them. So experiment. We all have all those pieces of love languages, the five that we refer to: physical touch, quality time, acts of service, gifts, and words of affirmation. Like we all can appreciate those aspects of love, but if you hit on the right one, that person will just glow. Like you'll know, like it's so obvious, and they'll just crave it. They want more and more and more of it, and once you hit home with it, give them what they need, and shower them with love in the way that they like to receive it.
Thank you, sweetie. You want to end it, or should I?
I'll end it. So yeah, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for joining us for a Q&A about us, and we're going to continue to get better at it. And we a lot of growth and more opportunities for us to challenge and and become better as individuals and together. And looking forward to bringing you guys along for the journey.
And make sure you subscribe to his channel, my channel, and thank you for seeing us, how we communicate with one another, because this is all real, this is all like raw stuff right now, and you actually saw that there's no such thing as a perfect relationship, but we have immense love for each other.
Absolutely.
Comment below your takeaways, again subscribe, and make sure if you really enjoyed this video, you want to share with other people that needs to hear the message, go ahead and share them to them. But make sure you do watch this next video coming up, so that way if you're brand new to this channel and you haven't watched the whole series, make sure you go ahead and do that. All right, well,
and if you ever wanted to know like what makes the perfect spouse for you, click on this video right here to find out more.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah,
look at you, you're learning.
Watch the next video right here. right here.
Bye.
My ass.